Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Sorry, I was taking my glasses off for a moment to do this video. I'm returning to you for a okay to man. Excuse my coughing. Okay to man movies of 2022 end of the year video. This is probably going to be a two-part video, of course, so expect another part to come out. So yeah, this is for okay to man movies of 2022. In my personal opinion, that I've personally put on this list. So I'm going to discuss from 23 to whatever number I get to for this first part and let you know my thoughts on each movie and what I thought of it overall. So let's dive into this with the number 23 spot with The Contractor. Now, this had Chris Pine in it. I almost said Chris Pratt for a second. Chris Pine. Uh, I really liked his performance in it, but the movie did feel a little flat for some areas in it. Kiefer Sutherland was in it as well, and certain other actors and actresses, but basically, the movie itself, I think the script was okay, but it just, some of the performances felt a little stale, except for Chris Pine's performance. He gave it his all with this movie. So, I really enjoyed his performance in this movie, but everyone else just they did all right, but it kind of weakened the movie, and some of the plot was a little bit weak in my opinion. So yeah, and number 23 is The Contractor. I personally wanted to put this at the top of the list because this was a movie I personally sort of enjoyed for to a degree, but not something I would say is great. I would just say it's an okay movie, but it's the strongest okay movie I've seen this year. Number 22 is Dear Zoe. Now, this one was an okay movie. The script was pretty sad, and the plot was, and the premise of the movie was very sad to look into. It's about Zoe's Tessa's baby sister Zoe that did get hit by a car, which is really horrible in my opinion. Um, it's still horrible. So yeah, it happened around 9/11, unfortunately, which makes it even worse. So yeah, not a day to remember. But basically, the movie's script, I think the performances were okay. And then there was some moments. Sadie Sink's characters as Tess, she did put on a good performance for what she went for, but other than that, the movie's plot was and the premise of the movie, mm, it's fine. But I wanted to put it on this list because it just make I just don't like sad movies like this, to be honest. So you can definitely go check out my review for it if you haven't seen it for Dear Zoe. I did do it. I did release it on I think it was Friday or Saturday. I can't remember when, but definitely go check it out. So at number 22 is Dear Zoe. All right, at number 21 is Thor: Love and Thunder. Now this one was a okay movie. I think Chris Hemsworth and Taika Waititi were joking around too much in this movie and coming up with new jokes, and the jokes got really overutilized so much in this movie, and it was overused so much with every joke that they come up with. The only good performance was Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher. I really liked his performance, but everyone else just felt like nothing. It almost felt like a nothing movie. Like Christian Bale was giving his all as Gore the God Butcher, and then everyone else was sucking, in my opinion. So it was a shame, but I think the movie's script was okay and the plot was okay, but basically Chris Hemsworth and Taika Waititi need to stop with the jokes for sure. Like, it's okay once in a while, but there were certain jokes that landed and certain jokes that didn't, and basically they really played out the jokes too much in this movie. So that's just my opinion, at least. So at number 21 is Thor: Love and Thunder. All right, at number 20 is Jackass Forever. Now this one was a okay movie. Um, I didn't think it'd be in my okay to man movies, but it's just they were fucking around too much, and I guess the script was okay, but for a long, lengthy movie, technically this is a movie that should be about like 20, 30 minutes at least, or like an episode or something. Basically, it just they're doing a lot of pranks. Even MGK was in this movie, and I'm like, oh god, I'm not that idiot. So basically, Jackass Forever was an okay watch. It's a little better than the other movie that came out on the same day, which was Moonfall, and you'll be seeing that on my worst movies. But basically, at number 20 is Jackass Forever. I think it was fine. It did have some comedy in it, but and some weird fuck fucking pranks and all that, and other things they have to do that make him so stupid and all that. So yeah, number 19 is Lightyear. Now this movie was okay. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this movie at first, but basically it just didn't impress me too much. But I know everyone else is critiquing it and saying it's the worst movie. I can understand why. It's not the best movie, but it's okay in my opinion. So, Chris Evans plays as Buzz Lightyear in this movie. And if you think of it as a Toy Story movie, then you're not going to like this movie. If you think of it like the Toy Story character, but have a different perception of how the movie's going to turn out, then maybe it'll be to your liking. But this one, it wasn't the best movie, but I think some of the script was okay, but did have some underwhelming moments and underwhelming scenes from time to time. Keke Palmer plays in this movie, and I just wasn't a fan of her voice acting. It's one of the characters in the movie. It just didn't impress me too much, so I think her performance, in my opinion, in this movie was a little weak for her voice acting. So, yeah, number 19 is Lightyear. Number 18 is Ambulance. Now, this was another okay movie. I think some of the plot where they just keep the paramedic hostage along with the cop hostage in an ambulance truck, it just drags out through most of the movie, and they're trying to get paid, and even, what's his name? I can't remember his name, to be honest, but basically, uh, with what I watched with this movie, I just wasn't that impressed with this movie too much, but for what it went for, I think it was alright for what it went for. Jake Gyllenhaal plays in this movie, and I think not John Boyega. I'm thinking of somebody else, of course. So please forgive me if I said John Boyega. I'm thinking of someone else. So please forgive me on that. But basically, I'd have to watch this movie again to see who the actor was that played in this movie. You might know who I'm talking about. It was Jake Gyllenhaal's brother in the movie. So, yeah. But anyways, I think this was an okay movie. Not the best movie, but okay, in my opinion. So, at number 18 was Ambulance. Number 17 is Pray for the Devil. Now, this was a little underwhelming of a movie. It didn't have great moments, but I think when one of the actors gets possessed in the movie and the little girl gets possessed first, and then the one that's trying to stop this demon gets possessed, it's just This movie got ridiculous, and the jump scares weren't shit, in my opinion. But the script was not bad. But the movie's performance overall was okay. It wasn't a great movie, but it was something. So at number 17 is Pray for the Devil. You can definitely go check out my movie review if you haven't seen it. I did it maybe a week or two ago, if I remember correctly. Not that long ago, maybe a couple weeks ago. I can't remember, to be honest. Number 16 is Don't Worry, Darling. Now, this was Olivia Wilde directing this movie and playing in it. And I gotta say, this movie was okay, but not great in any way. So, for what I got with this movie, I wasn't that impressed with it. And the ending was, well, it was something. Nothing that amazing, but it just ended kind of with what's going to happen next with the character, of course. So, I did like Florence Pugh's performance in this movie. She was great in it. Harry Styles, his performance was okay. Olivia Wilde's performance was not very good. And Chris Pine playing in this movie just seemed iffy to like. So, the performances were mixed baggage in this movie, but Florence Pugh did very well with her performance in this movie. And this premise of the movie was an okay premise, not anything amazing. So, number 16 is Don't Worry, Darling. Number 15 is Redeeming Love. Now, I know a lot of people say that this is one of the worst movies that's come out this year. I can agree, but also disagree with that. But it's an okay movie. It's not a great movie. It's just some of the plot is a little ridiculous, in my opinion. But I think the story has some heart to it. Not anything amazing, but has some heart to it. With this girl that's trying to get out of the prostitution business and relax in the real life with this guy that's wanting to marry her and all that. So basically she goes back and forth with this thing, and I'm like, oh my god, now she's pulling flip-flopping moves. So it's just like, what the fuck. But basically, in my opinion, I think Redeeming Love was okay. Not something I would say I'd watch again, but it's an okay watch. So I guess you can check this movie out for yourself to see what you think of it. But for me personally, it was okay. Nothing amazing, but I wouldn't own it. So at number 15 is Redeeming Love. Number 14 is Samaritan. Uh, I think Sylvester Stallone's performance was kind of weak in this movie. And just overall, the movie in general just didn't amaze me, in my opinion. But it was an okay movie. Um, I think I gave it like a meh rating, if I remember correctly. But yeah, with what I watched with this movie, I wasn't that impressed with it. But it did have a little twist closer to the end of the movie, and that's what made it interesting. But for what it went for, I wasn't that impressed with this movie. And Sylvester Stallone's acting in it was okay, but nothing amazing. So, and the premise was on the mixed baggage side. So, number 14 is Samaritan. Number 13 is Home Team. Now, this one was a okay movie. I think Kevin James playing in this movie. I believe that's what his name is, if I remember correctly. He played in the Grown Ups movie, Grown Ups 1 and 2, and he was pretty funny in it. But in this one, I'm just not feeling for the jokes too much, and some of the jokes are a little underwhelming in this movie, but basically the story is kind of interesting. but not too interesting. Taylor Lautner plays in this movie as well, and he did okay for what he went for. So give me a moment, guys. Gotta pause my video. Sorry, guys. My mom was calling me for a brief second. I had to help her out with some stuff because she's still not doing so well. She's just using a walker and all that stuff. But she's recovering, of course. But yeah, to continue where I left off, number 13 was Home Team. You can definitely go check this movie out for yourself to see what you think of it. It's on Netflix, or you can watch it online, of course. So, yep. And number 12 is Nope. Now, this movie was an interesting one, but at the same time, it wasn't very good, if I should say so myself. Because Jordan Peele this was one of his weakest movies, in my opinion. I was trying to understand its second watch, and Keke Palmer was the standout in this movie, meaning she was great in this movie. Daniel Kaluuya's performance was uninteresting, if I should say so, as of now. He tried, but I just don't think his performance delivered very well, in my opinion. So, yeah, it was an underwhelming movie, but I think, the character, what's his name? I can't remember his name, to be honest, but yeah, most likely, this movie was slightly underwhelming, but it had to make it at this spot because there were good moments about it, and then there were some weak moments about it. So it made it at this number 12 spot, which at number 12 is Nope, Jordan Peele's movie. You can check it out for yourself to see what you think of it. It's not the best movie. It did come out on DVD, and I don't think it's worth buying, in my opinion, because this is a movie to forget about, to be honest. Number 11 is Orphan First Kill. This is going to have to be the last movie I mentioned, then I'm going to come at you for the top 10 in the next part, of course. So, yeah, Orphan First Kill had an interesting script, but I wouldn't say it's the best movie I've seen this year. Still had some underwhelming moments with the storyline and all that of the girl that's in her 30s or 40s, and she's really small, of course, and trying to basically uh, kill this family and all that. So, yeah, she's got some kind of vendetta and a motive, of course. And then somehow they catch on to what she's doing. One of the actresses, I know her name, I just can't remember, to be honest, but she was pretty good in this movie. She played a convincing evil little bitch, of course, in this movie. She was a conniving psycho, of course, and playing mind games with her, playing her game. But basically, the movie itself felt a little flat, but at the same time, the storyline was a little okay. But an interesting twist towards the end of the movie that you'll come to find out when you watch the end of the movie. But at number 11 was Orphan First Kill. You can definitely go check out my movie review for it. I think you'll enjoy it. So I'm going to have to return to you for part 2 of the Okay to Man movies of 2022 for this end of the year video. This is premiering at midnight, just so you know, and the next one might premiere at 12:30 or 1 a.m. So until then, stay safe, take care, guys, and as always, I will see you in part 2 pretty soon that I'm going to record and then premiere, of course. So I'll see you in the next video.